Hello, Fáilte. Welcome back to another episode of the Tain Coolnge recording, the cattle raid of Cooley. This is turning into a bit of an audiobook with commentary as we move through the various episodes of the Tain or the cattle raid of Cooley, one of Ireland's most famous epic adventures. So we are, as ever, working with Dunn's translation from 1914, because that's what's available on the internet and easily accessible. So the previous episode we did was 27A, which was the muster of the men of Erin. And here in 28, we are hitting into the Battle of the Bulls. This is what it's all about. So this is bringing the two bulls together here. So 28, the Battle of the Bulls. If you're just jumping in here for some reason, please go back. There's a link down below to the playlist and you can go through the playlist from the start. I definitely recommend it. And there are many episodes, many more than 28 episodes. I think there's between 50 and 60 episodes in there altogether. So please go and check that out and make sure that you're not just jumping into the story half-cocked, as it were. So 28, the Battle of the Bulls. As regards Maeve, it is related here. She gathered the men of Erin and led them forth to Cuailnge to behold the Battle of the Bulls. As regards the brown bull of Cuailnge, it is now recounted in this place. When he saw the beautiful strange land, he sent forth his 3 bellowing calls aloud, and Fionvanach I, the white-horned of I, heard him. So the brown bull of Cuailnge came from Cooley, which is in Ulster, and Fionvanach I is from Cuailnge, which is, or Fionvanach E actually is Cuailnge, which is in Connacht. So now no male beast durst send forth a low that was louder than a moo in compare with him within the 4 fords of all of E, Athmoga, and Athcoltna, Ath Slisson, and Ath Burcha. And he lifted his head and he hastened to Cuailnge to look for the brown bull of Cuailnge. It was then the men of Erin debated who would be fitted to witness the fight of the bulls. They all agreed that it should be Bricrew, son of Carva, that were fitted for that office. For a year before this tale of the Cuailnge cattle raid, Bricrew had gone from the one province into the other to make a request of Fergus, and Fergus had retained with him waiting for his treasures and goods. And a quarrel arose between him and Fergus at a game of chess, and he spake evil words to Fergus. Fergus smote him with his fist, and with the chessman that was in his hand, so that he craved the chessman into his head and broke a bone in his head. Whilst the men of Erin were on the foray of the Tain, all that time Bricrew was being cured at Cuailnge. And the day they returned from the expedition was the day Bricrew rose. And this is why they selected Bricrew, for that Bricrew was no fairer to his friend than to his foe. And he was brought before the men of Erin to a gap whence to view the bulls. So this is like a formal kind of bear witness. Bricrew is kind of known through the various stories as a bit of a troublemaker. Is from Ulster originally, but definitely has like a worm tongue or an evil tongue. But he seems to be grumpy at everybody equally. So he doesn't have provincial loyalties as we would see in Fergus, for example. So each of the bulls sighted the other, and there was a pawing and digging up of the ground in their frenzy there, and they tossed the earth over them. They threw up the earth over their withers and shoulders, and their eyes blazed red in their heads like firm balls of fire. Their cheeks and their nostrils swelled like smith's bellows in a forge, and each of them gave a resounding deadly blow to the other. Each of them began to hole and to gore, to endeavour to slaughter and demolish the other. Then the white-horned of E visited his wrath upon the brown bull of Cuailnge for the evil of his ways and his doings, and he crave a horn into his side and visited his angry rage upon him. I'm not sure why the brown bull gets to be the evil one in this retelling or this telling. there is a Revscale, a foretale of the Tain, which is the basically the making of the two bulls. I know Story Archaeology did a great breakdown of it, so you can find that at storyarchaeology.com. For how the bulls came to be in their form, they were actually swineherds. So I think it might be called the swineherds. So you can go and check that out if you want the backstory to this. Then they directed their headlong course to where Brickroo was, so that the hoofs of the bulls drove him a man's cubit deep into the ground after his destruction. Hence, this is the tragical death of Brickroo, son of Carva. Cormac Conlongus, son of Concor, saw that, and he laid hold of a spear shaft that filled his grasp, and gave 3 blows to the brown bull of Cuailnge from ear to tail, so that it broke on his thick hide from ear to rump. No wonderful lasting treasure was this precious prize for us, said Cormac, that cannot defend himself against a stirk of his own age. The brown bull of Cuailnge heard this, for he had human understanding, see earlier swineherd's comment, and he turned upon the white-horned. Thereupon he rushed at him, so that they continued to strike at each other for a long while and a great space of time, till night fell on the men of Erin. And when night had fallen, all that the men of Erin could hear was the bellowing and roaring. That night the bulls coursed over the greater part of all Erin. So the fight continued and went all over the country, basically. So I think we have one more episode left after this. Let me just go back. Yeah, the account of the brown bull of Cuailnge. So that will complete our reading of the cattle raid of Cooley, Tombo Cuailnge, the central epic of the Ulster and Connacht cycle. So that is definitely something that I'm looking forward to. Hopefully you are looking forward to too. And of course, this material will remain in the playlist, so you can go back through it anytime you want. But I think that we will probably do more readings after this. I like having something that I can just go back to that is a useful and kind of easy community service piece for me to do, because I do like to keep up my community service. So I will probably be reading other stuff. If you have any suggestions, put them into the Nianicus. Obviously, the Nianicus is top of my brain. If you have any suggestions, put them in the comments below, and I will see what we can do. I do have, just before you make any suggestions, please go and check out the playlist for the lore, which is here on the channel, because I have done a couple of other readings as well. So make sure that you are familiar with those and aren't missing out on the good stuff. Okay. So slongafol, and make sure you like this video, please, to show the algorithm that this is good material and good content that you want more of. And I will see you in the next video.